Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I'm Jonathan Ross. Today is April 18th, 2009, and it is about 12:30 in the afternoon. Now, I'm going to run a few statistics by you. 10.3% of 8th graders participated in a survey in 2007 said that they had tried or currently do smoke marijuana. 24.6% of the 10th graders in the same test said that they have tried or smoked marijuana. 31.7% graduating 12th graders also in one way or another consume marijuana. Now, 420 is right around the corner, and I know that there are many of you out there, not necessarily just in this speech class, perhaps none of you do, and for that I commend you, that smoke marijuana or have tried marijuana in your lifetime. Now when 420 rolls around, if you're still a user, or an abuser rather, consider for a moment what you're putting your money towards. Now I understand marijuana has its medical benefits. It reduces pain, and there are ways in which they can inject marijuana in which it doesn't become mentally addictive. I don't believe that it's physically addictive. I believe it's a mental game that one plays with themselves, and they have to learn to overcome that. Now, 420 rolls around, you ask yourself, are you going to spend it on drugs to sit around and do what you do every other day? Every other day that has a different date than 420, that doesn't happen to be Hitler's birthday. Every day that you do your drugs, every day that you buy your drugs is exactly the same as this day. But you've designated this as the day to sit around with your friends and do the same thing you do every single other day, only in a higher capacity. Let me run this by you as well. In Uganda, there's a war being fought right now. This war's been raging for years now. And this war is being fought in large part by an organization called the LRA, Lord's Resistance Army. Members of the LRA, 90% abducted children. Now you're asking yourself, what does that have to do with marijuana use? There's an organization called the Invisible Children that will be hosting a rescue mission worldwide this coming weekend. And all you have to do is donate some of that money you're going to put towards your marijuana come 420 to this organization, and you can save lives. Now seriously, consider this. This war in which children are participating and killing each other, killing men, women, children, entire families, ruining people's lives. This isn't just happening in foreign countries. This is happening on our very own streets here in the United States of America. But it's a different kind of war. We call it a war on crime. We call them gang wars. Most gangs are a group of people that get together as a community to feel like they belong somewhere, and that is completely okay. In fact, there's actually gangs out there that don't aim to hurt one another. Perfectly acceptable. But there are gangs that do aim to hurt one another. Most of them simply seeking retribution, and they don't have aimless attack tactics. Some people actually put some thought behind what they do, whether their actions be right or wrong. Some of these people, though, are children. Now you're asking yourself, once again, how does this have to do with you smoking marijuana? That money, again, could be donated here in America to keeping these children off the streets and put into schools, into an education system where they're side by side with their peers, striving to learn as equally as much as the children sitting to their left and their right, their front and their back. All because you put in some money to keep them off the streets. We're going to have an educated community in the future, an educated civilization, and we're saving lives. That's priceless. Priceless. Now, if you visit www.invisiblechildren.com, you can donate some money toward this organization that will help prevent and end the war in Uganda and keep these children away from this war. Keep them from being abducted and put them places where they deserve to be, because every single life is equal and important. Now let me fly this through your little brains. In America, in 2004, the 11th leading cause of death was suicide. 32,439 people killed themselves in 2004. And why? We may never know. The overall rate was 10.9 suicide deaths per 100,000 people. There are about 1 billion people in the United States, if I am correct. It's an estimated 8 to 25 attempted suicides occur per every suicide death. There's an organization to help prevent this as well, called To Write Love on Her Arms. Many of you may have heard of it. It's become very mainstream within the past few years, since 2004, when it was first created. To Write Love on Her Arms donates money to people that need the money to see doctors, to seek more education that can help develop medicines to prevent depression, to further programs that want to help these people that can't afford to seek the medical and mental attention that they need to keep them from dwelling on things that will eventually lead them to ending their own lives. And once again, every single life in this world, on this earth, even out in space, we have astronauts out in space, is important and equal, and we need to understand that. But you know what? Forget it. Forget about the men, women, children, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, mothers, and grandmothers, and grandfathers that are going to take their own lives. On 420 alone, a large amount of people will die. Consider the statistics. Divide that amongst 355 days in a year. 356. Do the math yourself. But it's alright. You don't need to worry about it. Because at 420, you're going to sit around with your friends. You're going to smoke some marijuana, some ganj, some hash, some purple haze. Listen to some Jimi Hendrix, some Bob Marley. You're just going to blaze and marvel at how high you are and how hungry you are. But you don't have the money to go up the street to McDonald's because you spent it all on drugs. And when the 6 o'clock news rolls around and someone was murdered in your town, ask yourself what you could have done to stop that. Ask yourself if that $40 you spent today, or on 420 rather, is worth it. Thank you for your time.